Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I want to welcome you to the new and improved Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast. After many years of interviewing the best and brightest thought leaders around the world on my SiriusXM show, I am excited to now have those interviews available to people around the globe on this podcast. So many people would write us and say, I love what I've been hearing about your interviews with these great people. Where can I access them? I live in this country or that country, or I don't have access to that technology. How can I get the information? Well, I'm so excited now that we are able to offer the information and the interviews free on this podcast. So we want you to sit back and enjoy this message and let me know how you like them. And then do me a favor. If you like them, send a review, write a review and post it. And if you like it, hit like on here and share it and tell everybody you know about it, and then subscribe to this podcast so you'll get the alerts when we post a new interview episode. Thank you for listening and enjoy the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways podcast.
Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolley.
Hey, it's a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley, and yes, I have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it forced upon me. We can't refuse it. We didn't seek it. We didn't choose it, but it's up to us to use it. We must suffer if we lose it. Give account if we abuse it. Oh, just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. I'm grateful for this minute, this moment, this opportunity to be with you one more time, to hear another great lesson to help us inspire each other, to be empowered, to be uplifted. Are you ready to learn about how to create billionaires and baby billionaires, and how to create wealth, and how to build a business against the odds? That's what I want to talk about. If you're willing and ready to do that, my guest today is going to blow your mind. Well, I am grateful for that minute, God's minute. And I take a moment to thank God for every show, the start of every show, to give him some glory, to give him some praise, to thank him. Now, I know everybody doesn't believe like I believe. I'm okay with that. I just want to make sure you know where I get my gifts and blessings from, and where I am grateful for the blessings coming from. So I take a moment to say thank you. And then I thank you, each and every one of you, for making this the #1 self-help show in the country now, because you have shared it with your family, your friends, your coworkers, your business partners. And this is all about wealth creation and about success and about being healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this show is always focused on that. We don't talk politics. We don't talk about who did what to who. We talk about wealth creation and how you can become healthy, wealthy, and wise and leave a legacy. And that's what you're going to really like about today's show. So I want to thank all of you. And then I want to take a moment to thank our sponsor. That's right. Thank our sponsor. Our sponsor is Truist. They are great partners. I want to thank them for their support. I want to tell you about Truist Money and Mindset. The way you feel and think about money can affect your confidence and your total well-being. That's especially true when life gets real, gets hard, and throws challenges your way. Money and Mindset is a new tool, a resource from Truist that will help you to be better prepared for your planned life moments or when life just happens. This sounds really helpful because it is really helpful. You can check out Money and Mindset by heading to Truist.com, Truist.com, where you'll find it in the main menu. When you start with care, you build a different kind of bank. Truist Bank. Well, my special guest today is a dear friend of mine. She is a woman who has done incredible things, and she is a woman who is continuing to do and build incredible legacy. Her name is Ann McNeill, and she knows about creating, setting, and achieving magnificent, sometimes impossible dreams and hitting goals. She is the president of MCO Construction and Services, Inc. She also is the president of MCO Consulting, Inc., Constructively Speaking, Inc., on the board of For Better Investing, and founder of the National Association of Black Women in Construction. Yes, sir, you heard me right, in construction. And she is a baller in construction. She is the founder and president CEO of the International Mastermind Association, an organization that helps people create life and work balance through goal setting and financial empowerment. The group has produced many best-selling authors like my dear friend, Dr. Mia Merritt, and a host of other successful entrepreneurs. Today, Ann is a speaker. She's an entrepreneur. She's a CEO. She's been featured in magazines, including Success Magazine, the Miami Herald, US Today, Black Enterprise, ABC World News, and on television stations around the country. So I'm honored to have her as part of my network and one of my friends. She's a member of the National Speakers Association as well, and she is one of the leaders in Black NSA. So I'm just grateful that I was able to get her on my show because she's busy, y'all. She is busy, and I'm grateful to have her. And thank you for being on, and tell us some of the things I left out about who you are and where you came from and how you got to be this entrepreneurial dynamo.
Well, I'm married to my boyfriend.
All right now. All right.
Met in college, and from our union, 2 beautiful daughters, Ione McNeill, which is the baby billionaire. We'll talk about that a little bit. But my oldest daughter, Danelle McNeill, I call her the Queen of Toastmasters. And so, yes, and 2 grandchildren, Raja Neal, which is leading our youth mastermind. She just turned 6. And then my grandson, which you know, Malachi Monroe, and I cannot say enough about him.
He's a dynamo himself. That young man is on the ball. But all your children, and the baby billionaire, when she was here at Howard University, we would see her. She is always making something happen. So you married your high school sweetheart, college sweetheart, yes. And y'all been married for how long?
Can I take the Fifth Amendment?
She pleads the 5th. I know it's been about 40 years. It's about
at least. All
right, at least 40 years. Okay. And so, and Dee and I, as you know, we've been married almost 40 years. So we're grateful for that. Now, where are you from, Ann? And how did you get this mindset to create wealth?
Oh, wow. Willie, I started actually, and you know, I'm always talking about this book, Think and Grow Rich.
Think and Grow Rich. That's right.
Right. And that's really where I got the mindset that there was a need for me to do something differently. Because when I first read the book, I allowed it to read me. And that was the first time I realized that day I did not want to live anymore. Broken. And so deeply in debt that I did not know how to get out. It actually took me about 10 years to get out of that debt, which was properties that I owned and refused to put people out, and they knew their rights and they just stayed forever while I paid the mortgage. So that's how I got into the debt. But what turned my life around, though, Willie, was in the process of doing that, I set a goal to raise $1,000. In 1979, when I read Think and Grow Rich, he asked me how much money did I want. I said $1,000. So it took me about literally, and this I'm talking about a year to raise that in a year. First, I had to get out of debt. 10, 12 years later, I'd saved actually about $15,000, and I gave it to someone never to see it again, who say they were a financial planner, and the brother looked like me.
Yes.
Now that's where this story starts, as being the mother of the hashtag baby billionaire mom. Okay. Because when that happened to me, and I realized that I would never see that money again, I didn't get as mad with the brother as I got with myself.
Yes.
Because I had an undergraduate degree in accounting at the time. I was working on a master's in finance at the time. I'd already started my MCO construction company at the time, and was just starting my second company, which is called MCO Consulting. So how did I not know that I should have gotten a quarterly statement?
Yes.
When I gave that brother that money. And so that wake-up call forced me to realize that all these degrees that I had and have did not teach me how to handle personal finance. It taught me how to handle corporate finance.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So with that thought in mind, I had to question myself. I knew nothing about saving. I knew nothing about investing. And I knew nothing about starting and running an investment club, which would help me get out of that. So when this happened to me, I was already reading Think and Grow Rich. We had a group of 10 as a mastermind group. And I said to our group, I said, why don't we start reading something about investing and financial empowerment and personal empowerment and regarding our finances, because we were all in the same place, broken and didn't know how we got there or how to get out. So one of the first books we read, Willie, was The Millionaire Next Door.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The Millionaire Next Door. And in that book, we read a story about a group of ladies who had just beat the market. They were in their 70s, 80s, and 90s. And they became members of an organization called the National Association of Investment Clubs. That organization is now called Better Investing.
Okay.
.org. But anyway, so when we read that they beat the market because they started an investment club, our small group of 10 decided to contact the organization, NAIC it was called at the time, and find out how could we start an investment club. Now, this is where the baby billionaire comes, because she's like 6-7 years at the time this happens. And so as we got the information from the organization and we formed our first investment club, we were fortunate that our children were also starting their own first investment club.
Wow.
Exactly. And so that began the journey of where I am now, which is almost 25 years later, in terms of helping other people now not have to go down the same lane I went down, but it was a very expensive investment. I call it now an investment. It's not an expense.
That's right.
It's an investment in my education. And I tell you, next to my salvation, I cannot think of anything better than the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of financial freedom, financial empowerment, and how to start and run an effective investment club with your family and friends.
Wow. What I'm excited about it here is that you're encouraging people to do the work to learn for yourself. See,
Exactly.
Far too often we've heard this story, and it's Black people, white people, Asian people. We've had every kind who we have had as financial advisors. And then my wife one day said, I'm getting rid of them all. I'm going to learn. She did the learning. She went to take classes. She did the study. She read the books. And she said, we're going to run our financial future. And we have been doing much better with her running it than when we had the financial planners. Now, that doesn't mean we don't agree with financial planners. Let me say that.
Absolutely.
Now, we still have a financial planner. But we oversee what we want that person to do, or they give us their best advice. But Dee then says, okay, let me run it through my circumstances, my filters. Okay, I want to do this, but I don't want to do that. Now, not that they're wrong. It's just their perspective might not fit right now with what we're doing and where we're going and what our mindset is. So we recommend a financial advisor. Everybody should have a financial advisor, and everybody should also, but more importantly, as my friend J.R. Fenwick, who's been on this show from Flip That Stock, said, you better do your homework and learn for yourself. You gotta learn for yourself, and just don't give your money to somebody and say, let me know when it grows, okay? Or call me in 6 months. You've got to stay on top of your money. You worked for it. You need to keep a tab of it, and then you want to grow it. Well, we're going to come back and talk to Ann McNeill. She is a owner of a very successful construction company. She's also a well-regarded consultant and a very popular speaker. She's going to talk about Baby Billionaire, how to grow your children to become the mindset of money, about wealth, about legacy, because they will then be able to handle what you leave them and they won't squander it. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Ways show. And for sure, the best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent. You can call on me when you need me. You can call on me pick up the phone and call me. If you need me, you can
Are you ready to revolutionize your relationship with money? I'm Brian Ford, a financial wellness expert.
And I'm Bright Dixon, an expert in positive psychology. Together, we host Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian, a podcast from Truist Bank that's all about exploring the relationship between your money, your mindset, and your well-being.
Find us wherever you listen to podcasts or truist.com/money and mindset podcast.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I have a question for you. Have you ever wondered why some people can make $1 million, lose it, make a second million, lose that, then make a third million, while other people can't even make ends meet? Well, the reason is that those people know the recipe for success. And that recipe is available to everyone if you will do what they did. They made a habit of getting positive, motivational resources of great thinkers and great learners. And I want to offer those same kind of resources to you. We've developed a free page on my website. It's wjspeaks.com/gift. wjspeaks.com/gift. On that site, we've got resources, books, audios that help you to grow, and they're free. So go to wjspeaks.com/gift, wjspeaks.com/gift, and get some of those resources, and then share that page with your friends and your family members. We want to impact and inspire millions of people. And remember, if you enjoy this message on this podcast, like it, share it, and post a review about it, and make a difference in the lives of others by letting them know about it. Have a great day. This is Dr. Willie Jolley.
A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show and Podcast. And I want to take a moment to thank everybody for going to our new website, winwithwillie.com. It's a site where you can get all the access you want or need. Everything I do is right out of that site. We got my faith-based site right there. We got our business site right there. We got our youth motivation site right there. We got our marriage site right there. We got our music right there. We've got the new TED Talk that Dee and I did on how to never argue again in marriage right there. You can see my speech from the Joseph R. Biden Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award. You can see it all right there at winwithwillie.com. You got free resources. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can get all the good goodies that we give away free, because we believe the more you give, the more you get. The more you put out, the more that comes back. Bless people. It'll come back to you. It might not come from that person, but it'll come back to you, because that's a law of the universe. And if you follow the law, you'll be able to really prosper in this. Well, my special guest is Ann McNeill. She is the president of a construction company, of a consulting company. She's a speaker. She's a president of an investment group. She got all sorts of things going on, and she is teaching her children as well how to become billionaires, millionaires, wealth creators. And I'm excited about that. Not just her children, but her grandchildren. She's teaching them all. Now, where were you born? Where did you grow up, Ann? I never got that.
West Palm Beach, Florida.
All right, so you're still in Florida from where you grew up. And how did you come up with a mindset, though, to start a construction company? Because that's not something most women you hear often. We've got some great women construction company owners, but that's not something that happened years ago. You didn't hear that happening. What happened? How did you get there? What was the mindset? What pushed you? Were your parents in construction? Did they know about entrepreneurism? How did you get there?
Willie, when I started this corporate job in Palm Beach County, and my husband and I bought our first home, and we knew absolutely nothing. I'm talking about early 20s, absolutely nothing about real estate, nothing. All we knew, my husband's from Philadelphia and he lived in Concrete City, right?
Right.
I grew up here, so I grew up in a single family home with grass and all of that.
Right.
So we bought our home, the house across the street went up for sale. And it just said for sale by owner. We called the owner, we said, look, we're young, we would like to buy the house. We can only make payments. And I think about the story now, it's just unbelievable. We never filled out an application.
Wow.
A property down the street on the same street came available. And we called, we're driving during the neighborhood and we just happened to pass this sign. We called the people and we said, we'd like to buy that house and we can make the monthly payments. And they said, okay. And they, process the paperwork, no credit check, nothing. I'm going way back. Now, if you've ever been to West Palm Beach, and if you've ever been to the convention center, our house set up underneath that property. If you've ever been to the Kravitz Center, Performing Arts Center, the first property we bought set up underneath that property in West Palm Beach. We knew nothing.
Wow.
So one day I come home from work and my husband says, he calls me babe. He said, babe, if I had it to do all over again, I would not go to college. I was shocked. I married up Willie. He was valedictorian, graduated valedictorian. He did. I graduated, thank you, Lordy.
I know what you mean.
Okay. So for him to say that he would not go to college, and he's sitting on undergraduate degree from Florida Memorial in accounting and a master's. And so for him to say that, I was shocked. I said, what do you mean you wouldn't go to college? He said, listen, I've been doing the math on these properties. And if we did the work ourselves, the money we would save. And he said, then I looked at the guys who are coming in here giving us estimates. He said, many of them did not finish high school, let alone they never went to college. And he said, I did the math, and what they make in an hour, babe, is more than you make in a day.
Wow.
I said, excuse me? He had to tell me that 2 more times, Willie. A total of 3, one for the Father, Son, and you know who else. Okay. So I said, what? He said, yes. He said, what they make in an hour is more than you make in a whole day on that corporate job. And he said, they have no debt, no college debt. And so standing right there in the living room with my handbag, the pocketbook back in that day, right. I said, what would you do? He said, I'd go to a trade school. So I said to him, I'm going to go to a trade school. He started laughing because he knew I was working on a master's degree. And also I had a full-time job. When would I have time to go to a trade school? And Willie, you didn't know this, but when we talked about this podcast,
yes,
I was at the first meeting of the trade school that I went to back in the 70s. I just got a contract with a construction partner of mine to do the renovations of that trade school.
Wow.
Almost 40 years later. And today was the first meeting. And the school board, when I told them I attended that school, they're now talking about doing a TV article special on the fact that I'm a product of the community that is now building the community school for the trades and construction.
Wow.
Exactly.
Wow. What a great story. What a great story. So you had to scrape and claw because you had to get out of debt after you had these properties that you were able to pay a note on. Exactly. And you were in debt. You didn't have much savings. And then you just kept growing it, but you learned along the way. And then once you got a profit, you gave it to this person to invest it, and then they did not do a good job. Then you learned something else. I got to control my destiny and my development of my revenues so that I can create some legacy. Am I right about wealth?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So you have been able to do that. You started a construction company by just being dogged and going after it and not giving up. Now, the next question is, now what are you doing? You do speaking. Tell us all about all the different things you do.
Well, Willie, as I tell you about the different things that I do, I want to go back to, if you don't mind, just a second, the transition and how powerful, and I just want to share this with all of your listeners, how powerful it is to start right where you are with what you have. And I started with a $20 bill investing.
Okay.
And then a $20 bill saving. And so as you asked me about the other things, everything that I do is built on top of everything else I do.
Okay.
And our friend Nito Quabain shared with me many years ago before he became,
superstar. Well,
yes, exactly. He said, Ann, he said, just like myself, you do a lot of things. Just make sure that everything you do is congruent
right
with everything else you do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so for me, Willie, starting the International Mastermind Association with this book, Think and Grow Rich, was the foundation of all of that. Because I read the book before I started the first business of construction.
Okay.
I read the book as I started the second business for consulting. And my consulting business, we do what we call outreach, monitoring, and compliance. And we work for private sector firms that work on public sector land. Because these firms have requirements by the government to meet certain goals.
Okay.
And they're not interested in meeting the goals, most of them, but they're interested in being compliant. And so what I did 25 years ago, I started a business to help them become compliant. And to do all of the outreach and the monitoring and all of those things separate from my construction business.
Got it. Okay, let me dig here a little more, because you have really intrigued me with the fact that you went back to school while you're getting your master's. You go back and get a trade. You learn construction, and then you start a construction company. And now, did you start doing the work on these homes that you had bought with your husband, or did you construct new structures?
Well, interestingly, when I was in the corporate job, what I realized, because they were a government contractor, and this was pivotal. And the only reason they hired me, Willie, is because they got 2 points. And you're looking at them both.
Right,
One,
black,
because I'm black
and a woman. Yeah.
But it did not take me long, Willie, to realize I had the other 98 points.
Come on, somebody. I love that. Okay, let's talk for a moment about Think and Grow Rich, because I want to focus on the fact that you have made that into a whole activity program. And I tell people in my speeches, the book that changed my life, from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a speaker or even an entrepreneur, was Think and Grow Rich. And I'll ask people, how many of you have read that book? And most of the time, very few have read it. And I said, that book is the book that you got to read next to the Bible. It's made more millionaires than any other book, because it changed my thinking and it gave me a system. Now, my dear friend, we're going to take a break before we get into it. My dear friend, Joe Dudley, and you might know of Joe Dudley Hair Products. Yes. Joe Dudley, he proclaims about Think and Grow Rich and the impact it had on his business. He started a business like you started investing with $20. He started his Dudley Hair Care products with $10. With buying full of brushes, and then building a business with full of brushes that he could invest into his Dudley Hair Care products. And that is how he started the company. And he read Think and Grow Rich. He has said he's now read the book 300 times. He said he read it the first 100 times to get rich, the second 100 times to stay rich, and the third 100 times, he said, was for insurance. And so he has his people read the book. He has his family read the book. Folks, this book has been phenomenal. Now, we're going to talk more about it when we come back, but we're also going to talk about how to make the book part of her legacy, because her children and her grandchildren, I know many of you are listening, want your children and grandchildren to do well. You want to be able to be secure that they will be able to either not just grow the legacy you leave, but also to expand it and not squander it. We're going to come right back after station identification with more that's going to change your life. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. We'll be right back. Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and I got an email from a gentleman in Australia who shared how he had been struggling in his business, and he bought some of my books and audios, and how it had a profound impact on his business, and he went from worst to first in his company. I shared with him how much I appreciated his note, but I told him those books, those audios, those videos were not just something that I just thought up one day and started to write. They were born out of my experiences, out of the challenges of overcoming the problems and the difficulties and how I was able to do it. And I shared with him that others have sent similar messages and that these resources work. I want to encourage you and invite you to go to my store. Go to wjspeaks.com/shop. wjspeaks.com/shop. Get some of the books. It only takes a minute to change your life. Or a setback is a setup for a comeback. Or turn setbacks into greenbacks. Or chicken soup for the soul. Or an attitude of excellence. Or the book I wrote with my wife after 34 years of being married and not having an argument in over 30 years. We wrote a book called Make Love, Make Money, Make It Last. And now it is saving marriages all over the globe. Go to the store, get some of the audios, the videos, the books, the resources to help you have greater personal and professional success. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Make this a great day on purpose. And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way show and podcast, heard around the world now. You can hear it on stations from coast to coast, border to border, and in other countries. You can hear it now on radio, but you can also now get it on podcast absolutely free, 24/7, and we want you to share it with everybody you know. Again, I want to thank you for sharing it as well as many of you have done, but keep doing it. But also, I want to thank our sponsor, Truist Bank. Truist believes that better lives and better communities begin with care. That includes caring a lot about the well-being of their clients, their customers, and the community. Let me tell you what I mean. Truist is really interested in improving the connection between your finances and your personal well-being. So they launched Money and Mindset. It's an online resource to help you build financial confidence and a healthier mindset around your money. I've spent time with the Money and Mindset podcast. I've been interviewed on it, and it is a powerful tool. One good takeaway I found was that when you're on top of your finances, you can really enjoy the benefits of beyond reaching goals. Think about reducing overall stress. Think about feeling greater reassurance, knowing that you're better prepared for a financial challenge should it come your way. And then there's a Money and Mindset podcast for all you podcast listeners where you can find real talk about money. It's called Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian. Let me say it again, Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian. Your money and your mindset will have an impact on you creating real wealth. So listen to the podcast. I encourage you to take some time, check it out. You'll be glad you did. It's a free resource that you can make the most of your money with. Go to truist.com, look for the Money and Mindset podcast or the Money and Mindset resource, and it will change your life. And when you begin with care, you get a different kind of bank, Truist Bank. My special guest is Ann McNeill. Ann McNeill is a member of the National Speakers Association, as am I. She also is a construction company owner who has built a massive, successful, incredible construction company. She also is a speaker, a consultant, a trainer, and she got a book. Tell us a little bit about this book, Ann, because the title by itself made me say, ooh, ow, I want that. Go ahead. What is the title? And what is it about?
Willie, this is the book is entitled How to Raise a Baby Billionaire. And it's 365 tips on creating the mindset of a billionaire.
Okay.
Now, the book was born out of my experience with our youngest daughter, who walked through this entire experience with me, and I did not realize she was paying attention from the time I started the first mastermind group until the time I started, until even when the guy took the money, she was around and watching and listening to that. And when they started the Youth Investment Club, she was involved in that. But the very first day, Willie, the very first day that she was in her club meeting was the same first day we were in our adult club meeting in the same hotel.
Okay.
We come home from the hotel. She comes in the kitchen and she says to me, "Mommy, can I have the newspaper?" She's 9.
Okay.
So I get the newspaper, I give it to her. And she immediately opens the paper and she goes to the business section of the stocks. It's first day in class.
Mm.
And she takes her little 9-year-old finger down the page and she finds the Nike stock.
Mm.
And she goes over to the right and she says, "Oh, the Nike stock went down." This is 9 years old.
Mm.
And then I'm shocked because I couldn't do that, Willie.
Yes.
I didn't know how to do that. Then she says this because she could see the disappointment in my face. So I'm saying, "Oh," but my face is saying, "How do you know this in one day?"
Right.
She looked at me, Willie, and this is what she said. She said, "Mommy, don't worry. I'm going to grow up to be a long-term investor. And I know now the difference between investing in Nike stock and buying Nike shoes."
Mm.
9 years old, Willie. Now let me fast forward. She now hit 6 figures in her personal portfolio before the age of 30 and will hit 7 before the age of 40. And not only is she free, but she's retired. I call it retired. She volunteers at the library, local library.
Wow. And she came to Howard University. So we want to make sure you know that even though her husband said, "I wouldn't go to college," they put both them children through college. And your grandson went to Morgan, I believe.
Morgan.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And so they say that, but they understand the power of education, but they also realize that ain't enough, that you've got to do your self-education. You've got to grow yourself. You've got to look at the possibilities. And really what they were really saying was she was working for a corporate job and she was a person who was getting a salary that the company determined. And she said after that day, they came to the realization that if you're going to create wealth, you've got to determine your value in the marketplace. Am I right about it?
Absolutely. And so that's how the investment club started. So the book came out of just, I wish I was that smart, really, to really know that she would eventually be branded as the baby billionaire.
Yes. Read just a couple pages, a page or something from the book, just anything you think would be of value to people.
Yeah, well, the first thing is from second grade, they all start reading Think and Grow Rich.
Okay, great. That's a standard.
First, because it's mindset.
Right,
and
mindset.
Right, and the second tip is that even as children, they must have goals.
Got it.
They must have goals in each area of their life. Now, the other book that I wrote, and I have it sitting here, is called How to Start and Run a Successful Mastermind Group. Now, the reason why this is important, because the children's mastermind group, they participate in not just writing their goals, but also a mission statement for the family.
Some people might not understand what a mastermind group is. Tell them what a mastermind group is and why it's so critically important in your success journey.
Absolutely. Well, from reading the book, Think and Grow Rich, there is a chapter on mastermind group. And basically what he says is a mastermind group is a coordination of effort between 2 or more individuals in the achievement of their goals. Now, there's no big me, big I, little you. Everybody is equal and the leadership rotates. That's why I wrote the book, because what happens is a lot of people start mastermind groups and they don't understand this is not a coaching program. This is where you come with a specific goal and you are getting help from others, but you're also helping them in the achievement of their goals. And really what we do here in this book and also in our lives, we focus on, and it's right here in my table of contents, we focus on 10 different areas of your life as children. This is how you raise a baby billionaire. It's not about, whatever it is, you be committed to that. So it is about your spirituality. What's your goal? It is about your family. What is the goal? These are children. What's your goal? And thirdly, it would be financial. What's your financial goal? Fourth, it is your health goal. What is your health goal?
Right.
Fifth is your educational goal. Everybody's not going to go to college or desire to do that. But for those that do, where is it written?
Mm-hmm.
Number 6 is a goal for your professional or personal development.
Yes.
That's how I ended up in NSA. Number 7 is the goal for your business. And we encourage all of our children at an early age, before the age of 10, to start their own business.
Wow.
And then, exactly. Number 7 is your recreational goals. And then number 8, civic, your recreational goal. And then civic. Recreational goal is a given. We know what that is. But your civic goal is your service to the community. And I'm a Rotarian, and our motto is service above self.
Wow. Service
above self. So your civic goal, where is it written? And these are children. And then finally, number 10 is the creativity goal. And so creativity can be anything you choose. My daughter also wrote a book. Iona wrote a book on being a baby billionaire in terms of investing. And I wrote this book on how to raise a baby billionaire, because people started asking me as she grew older. Really, when she was 16, she ranked number 1 in the United States out of 5,000 girls who started their own businesses by an organization called Girls Going Places. And at 16 years old, they invited her. That's how I ended up at NSA. They invited her to be the national speaker for the international financial planners from all over the world.
Wow.
And paid for all of us to come and hear her speak. So that is how the book started and was created out of people asking me, what do you do? What did you do? How can you help me?
Where can people reach you, Ann? Because I'm sure everybody right now is waiting for me to ask that question. Where can they reach you? Where can they get your resources? Where can they get your books? Where can they get your consulting? Where can they get your coaching? Where can they get you?
Everything is on my website at AnnMcNeill.com, Willie.
Spell it for everybody.
AnnMcNeill.
Okay, so it's McNeill with McNeill,
2 L's.
Okay, EILL, 2 L's on the end. AnnMcNeill.com.
Yes.
And you will be amazed at all the things she has available and the things she can do to help you to grow. Now, you started your investment with about $20, and now you've built a massive investment portfolio. Now you've done it for your family, you've done it for your friends, you've encouraged other people. And so now you're helping people live their dreams through your mastermind programs. And again, folks, mastermind, for those who don't know, is where 1 or 2 minds come together in a room, helping each other to grow their dreams and goals. And it creates what they say a third mind. It creates an extra mind that you say, why didn't I think of that? Or because that third mind wasn't there. And I also want people to know we all struggle from a thing, or we all suffer from a thing, or we all deal with a thing called scotoma. Scotoma is when there is a blind spot. We all have a blind spot. It's impossible to see the picture when you're in the frame, as my friend Les Brown says. So what we have to do is to start to say, what am I missing from people who are not in the frame with me? And they say, oh, why didn't I think of that? Because you were in the frame. And that's where the Mastermind Alliance is so powerful. And Napoleon Hill said it in the book. And I tell people, go on to my website, winwithwillie.com. In fact, if you go to wjwow.com, WOW.com, you get access to Think and Grow Rich and some of the resources that come from Think and Grow Rich. Ann has it on her site. We got stuff from The Millionaire Next Door. I love that book, by the way, because it talks about it's not how much money you make, it's what you do with the money that you make. And also my new book is called Rich is Good, Wealthy is Better. And it's based on the premise that rich is money you get from what you do, while wealthy is money you get from what you own. We want to make sure people own ways to make more money. We'll be right back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings on my dreams and overcame my fear of heights. Now how high will I fly? If I dare to touch the sky, oh, I'm flying. Where eagles only wish they could soar.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolley, and people often ask, how did I go from a broke, busted nightclub singer to become a best-selling author and to be voted one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world by the 175,000 members of Toastmasters International? The answer is that I decided to invest and change my thinking, invest in my mindset, and decided to change my inputs because inputs determine outputs. I heard about a seminar years ago when I was just getting started. I was making about $100 a speech. And I heard this seminar that was creating millionaires, and it cost $10,000, but the guy was getting results. I didn't have that kind of money, but I decided to borrow it because I learned that there's a price for success, the price of college, the price of going to school, the price of education. And there's a price for success, and then there's a cost for not paying the price, the cost of staying the same. And that cost is greater than the price. It's too expensive. And so I went and it changed my life. And I came back and quickly made $100,000. I heard a similar story from Dr. Dave Martin, how he went to a success rally, heard a speaker who inspired him. He and his friend said, wow, that's changed my life. The speaker had a package of materials to help build wealth. The package cost $1,500. And that was all the money Dr. Dave had to his name. Dr. Dave's friend asked, do you think this stuff is worth it? Dr. Dave thought for a moment. He said, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it. But I do know that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. He invested that money in that package and used the materials to grow his thinking. He grew his mindset. He shared how that $1,500 investment has gone on to generate millions in revenues. He's a multimillionaire. And he has homes now in Arizona and Florida. I want to say to you, it's time to invest in you. I want to give you some materials that will help you, grow your mindset, grow your future, grow your finances. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire. wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get some materials that will inspire your success and will help you find that there's a price for success, but there's a cost for not paying the price. And the cost is always greater than the price. Go to wjspeaks.com/billionaire and get the bag, the box, or any of the materials there and keep growing your wealth. And remember, as a man thinketh, so as he is, and your best is yet to come.
Motivated, wanna take it to the top. Motivated, highly motivated. Motivated, I'm never gonna stop. I had a job I really hated.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolley on the Willie Jolley Wealthy Way Show with my special guest, Ann McNeill, construction company owner, consulting company owner, master investor, and the accolades go on and on. In fact, and you just got a big award, and I want you to tell people about it and what that came to be and how it came to be, please.
Willie, I'm the recipient of the Better Investing, better known as the National Association for Investment Clubs. They just awarded me the George Nicholson Award for Service, and is only awarded once a year and is voted by your peers. And I tell you, Willie, standing in the room of over 1,000 people, and I could count on one hand the number of people who looked like me in that room. And so even now I get a little emotional because I had the privilege of meeting Mr. Nicholson in his 90s. He was the founder of this Better Investing organization, which is where I was the first Black female on their national board. And my daughter, Ione, McNeill, the baby billionaire, they just appointed her last year to the board to be the volunteer of the year for the spirit of service and exemplifying the financial empowerment education, because I started a podcast, Willie, after my experience called #MyInvestingStory.
Okay, so where can people they can get it at Ann McNeill?
Yes. And you can get it on
Hashtag-
Anchor. It's on Anchor too as a podcast.
Okay,
Yes.
good. And say it one more time so people can get it.
#MyInvestingStory.
Okay,
My
#MyInvesting.
investing story, right? And it's just a story of individuals who started out very humbly investing small amounts. I'm talking about $20 a month, not a day or a week, but a month. And now they're not sitting on 6 figures, but they're sitting on 7 figures. Yes,
Wow.
exactly.
Wow.
And so I'm very honored to be the recipient of that award, because it means a lot after 25 years of service.
Wow. I am so proud of you and excited for you, and just so over the top, because that is a prestigious award. And I am so grateful that you could find time to talk about it and be on the show. Now, one more thing, you have had to overcome all sorts of headwinds as a woman, as a Black woman, in a field and in an industry that didn't see a lot of people who look like you. I know there were all sorts of microaggressions. I know there were all sorts of slights. How did you overcome them? How did you not give up?
I think it's a process of overcoming.
Overcoming.
Overcoming. Yes. You see, Willie, just because we are small does not mean we have to think small. Yes.
Love it.
And in addition to Think and Grow Rich, The Magic of Thinking Big, Acres of Diamonds, Richest Man in Babylon, all of these books, I cannot miss talking about the scrolls and the fact that Ogmandino with his Yes. Yeah. So reading all of those books, an average of probably 20, 30 a year times 20, 30, 40 years, that mindset is what has allowed me to lead the field. Yes, in this industry. Not just be in the field, but lead the field. And this is what I mean. I took one page of Think and Grow Rich, page 28, and the 6 questions he asked: how much you want, doing what, by when. And I built 5 businesses. I took one more page out of Think and Grow Rich, the self-confidence formula, and I built a business from that by reading and writing it every day.
Wow.
I took one more page, Willie, where he tells the story of Charles Schwab. And you remember this story.
Right.
He said Charles Schwab was paid by Andrew Carnegie $70,000 a year as a salary, but he paid him $1 million a year bonus. But what Charles Schwab did was so powerful, is that he was the person that convinced all the financiers at what they called a $1 billion dinner speech. He convinced them to create what we now know as U.S. Steel. Really, I read that for years. And after about 20 years of reading it, I realized I could do the same thing Charles Schwab did. And that is, he did what's called a $1 billion dinner speech. I created for my organization, Black Women in Construction, was called a $1 billion luncheon. Exactly. And again, now, just because I am small does not mean I should think small.
Right.
So what I did was I took a page out of the book again. I took exactly what Charles Schwab did. He put together all of the wealthiest people in his day. So I said to myself, hey, why can't I do the same thing? So I pulled together, Willie, once a quarter, all the wealthiest government agencies per industry into a $1 billion luncheon that I do on Zoom. And this is what it looks like. Let's take the airport. It has to be $1 billion.
Yes.
So airports all over the United States have $1 billion programs.
Yes.
So I invite 3 of them to come to lunch with us on Zoom and bring their master plan. Now, what does this do for all of our businesses? Instead of running behind the money, Willie, we are talking about financial empowerment.
Right.
I'm learning how to get in front of the money and stand in the way.
Wow. I love that. Okay. I ask every guest a question. If you came to DC for a speech, I came over and heard you speak, and then Dee and I took you to lunch, and then we went over to Howard University, and we went to a business class. Your daughter went to Howard University, and we went in that class. Give me two or three. You got us. You got to do this if you're going to be a success. Give me a couple. You got us.
I would say you must have a dream to have a dream come true.
Amen.
I would also say you must have a relationship with your creator.
Yes. Yes.
And then I would say that you must read the book, Think and Grow Rich.
Wow. That, I mean, and it will be self-sufficient and self-explanatory if you read it. And it does something in the book. It says, if you read this book and you really read it, the secret to success will pop out. It will jump out at you. But he said, I'm not going to tell you what it is. You must read the book, and it will expose itself in your mind. Now, here's the thing. The more you are around that kind of thinking, the more you're around the books like that, your mind grows, it expands. I think it said, once a mind is exposed to a new idea, it can never shrink back to its original position. And so that's what we want you to do. And Ann McNeill has been doing that now for years. She has been helping people in mastermind groups. She's been helping people with coaching. She's been helping people with all sorts of ideas and ways to build their wealth. And that's important. Let me ask you this about, because we have a big focus, Dee and I, on goal setting. We do a goal setting event every year. In fact, if you go to winwithwillie.com, we have a goal setting program, people. You can download it. It's a 3-hour training. You can go get it. Why are goals, in your opinion, so important? Why are they goals so important? Because people say, well, I can just set a New Year's resolution. I can think about it. Why goals, written goals, so important?
Well, you cannot hit a target you don't see.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important. And my 7-year-old daughter, when she sat with our mastermind group and we were doing our goals, that's what she said, Willie. She took a crumpled piece of paper and opened it up. She said, can I share my goals? And Dr. Merritt actually said, sure, honey. Everybody was shocked. Didn't know she was even listening. She opened it up, Willie. She said, my first goal is I want to have a relationship with God. My second goal is I want to get straight A's in my education. My third goal is I want to make a lot of money. And my fourth goal is I want to learn how to play golf.
Wow.
And by the time she got to 12th grade, really, she had hit every single one of those goals. But how do you hit a goal? And this is for all of us that you don't see and it's not written.
That's right. That's right. Or as I like to say, if I gave everybody in this audience or everybody who's listening a beanbag and say, hit a wall that's close to you, of course you could hit it. Now, if I blindfolded you, turn you around in your chair or in your car or just around and around and around till you couldn't see which way you were facing, is it still easy to hit that wall? No. Why? Because you cannot hit what you cannot see and you cannot hit what you do not know. Well, Ann McNeill, last 30 seconds. Tell us any last closing thoughts you want to share with the audience.
I would say, Willie, think and grow richer, but also invest $20 a month in some product or service that you use.
Just get started. Just get started. Just get started. People say, I don't know how to, she just gave it to you. I was in a car from the airport the other night and the driver said, what's the secret to success, Dr. Jolley? I said, look, what kind of car are you driving? Buy a little bit of that in stock. Exactly. You can buy it in drips now. You can buy it in portions. I said, where do you go to the store and get your groceries? Buy a little bit of that. What kind of shoes do you wear? Buy a little bit of it. And you'll be amazed how it changes your life. Ann McNeill, thank you so much, folks. I want to thank Ann McNeill for being my guest. I want to thank all of you for being part of this community. I want to thank our friends at Truist for being my sponsor. I'm telling you, you can make a powerful impact if you will just go and check out Truist.com. Their podcast is Money and Mindset with Bright and Brian. And it's the real talk about ways to reach financial confidence and boost your mindset. Tune in wherever you listen to podcasts. Go to truist.com, check them out, and you'll see the things they are doing for our community and for your life and your future. I want to also encourage everybody to go to winwithwillie.com, winwithwillie.com, and sign up for the newsletter. I gave you the website as well, wjwow.com, to get access to Think and Grow Rich resources free. Okay. So wjwow.com. Now, go to winwithwillie.com. Make sure you watch the TED Talk. And I ask everybody to share with at least 10 people who are married, 10 people who are thinking about getting married, because it's called How to Never Ever Argue Again in Marriage. And then you can also see my Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award, which I think will inspire you when I tell you that you got to lead, feed, and seed. So look, folks, thank you for your time. Thank you for being part of our community. And remember, for sure, your best is yet to come. Have a great day on purpose. God bless you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this podcast episode, and I hope you got something of great value. And I hope that you were inspired, you were motivated, you were empowered, and you were encouraged to live your best life. I hope this information and this inspiration will help you to do more, be more, and to achieve more. That's the goal why I started this program, and I hope it helped you in a mighty way. Now, I ask you to make sure and that you take full advantage of all the resources that came through this program. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/gift and get some of the free resources that we have there for you. I hope you go to wjspeaks.com/shop to get some of the books that we have created, that we've labored over to make sure that they will deliver a powerful message to you. I hope you go to williejolly.com/billionaire, williejolly.com/billionaire, or wjspeaks.com/billionaire to get the box that it will inspire your whole family, or get the bag of books. Make this a great day, a great week, a great month. And remember, it is true that you are blessed and all things are possible for them that believe. So make the most of the belief that you have now in your future. This is Dr. Willie Jolley. Have a great day.
This podcast is a part of the C-Suite Radio Network. For more top business podcasts, visit c-suiteradio.com.